Gango, how's everybody doing, man? Welcome to Man Blue FC. Listen, before we jump right in, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment if you have to. Do it for the algorithm, guys. Everybody knows how this YouTube thing works. My name is Lande, and man, let's jump right into it. So we've got like a messy situation going on with this Alexander Isak um, situation between Newcastle and Liverpool. Um, I want to just break down a few of a few things that have been happening in recent weeks. You know, following the controversial move uh, for Victor Gyökeres from Sporting to Arsenal, Alexander Isak seems to be following the same trajectory. Maybe not as blatant as Gyökeres' fallout with Sporting, the football club, but it's kind of treading on those, you know, hard waters or rough waters. And here's what I mean by that. So, Liverpool, some weeks back, I think, during the beginning of the transfer window, expressed interest in signing Alexander Isak from Newcastle, and that was snuffed out very quickly by Newcastle as they claimed that they weren't interested in selling the striker. There was actually a back and forth about well, if Liverpool can't get Isak, then they'll go ahead and just sign Hugo Ekitike, who was Newcastle's primary target, actually to pair up with Alexander Isak up front, which they were able to secure uh, as of right now. Hugo Ekitike is training with Liverpool. Actually, I think he was part of the match, which I didn't see, but they were playing a preseason match that they won, from what I heard. The only person I know who scored a goal for sure is Florian Wirtz. I didn't watch the match, it wasn't available in my country. But anyway, nonetheless, Liverpool are already looking dangerous without Isak, but they could turn into a real force of nature if their desires were to be, you know what I mean, like were to be granted. And it seems like their desires and Alexander Isak's desires align at this point, because Alexander Isak is making it as clear as day that he wants the move to Liverpool. I'm guessing when Newcastle kind of like stood in the way of that deal, Alexander Isak took it upon himself to kind of like, you know what I mean, not avail himself for the preseason match against Celtic. And I remember at the time there was like a rumor that, oh well, you know, he's kind of like recovering from a thigh injury or something like that, which turned out to be false, according to David Ornstein, who says that, well, listen, reports say that the player is suffering no sort of injury. He's kind of just doesn't want to be involved in training with the club in preparation of a move, you know, to the Scousers. And here's why this is good for Liverpool fans, you know. And they've already had like a crazy transfer window as it is. This would kind of like tip that transfer window on its head, in my opinion. Liverpool have spent £170 thus far on Kirkez, Frimpong, and of course Florian Wirtz, and seem to be itching to like break that record again. Now the record for the most expensive British transfer is currently Florian Wirtz, but it seems like he won't be carrying that title for very long, because if a deal, which by the way, it's seeming like terms are being agreed between Liverpool and the player, but then after the terms are agreed, the next thing to follow would be the transfer fee, right? And this would of course be astronomical, something in the range of like £120 million to £150 million. So just to give you guys a little bit of background, Alexander Isak moved from Real Sociedad to Newcastle in 2022 for 60 million pounds, right? So, and he's kind of become a household name in the Premier League during his time in Newcastle, scoring over 60 goals, 62 to be specific. He's played in 109 matches, and he famously scored the goal to win Newcastle the Carabao Cup last season, right? So this is not a squad player by any means. This is technically their best player, and by their I mean Newcastle. Liverpool are on the prowl for him. You know, they're about to pounce on that deal. Newcastle are or will be left for stranded. By the way, guys, Newcastle have qualified for the Champions League, and it seems like they're having problems or they're having trouble recruiting everybody. Everyone they go to seems to have their hearts elsewhere, which is not good news if you're going into a Champions League campaign in the following season or in the upcoming season. Alexander Isak has expressed his expressed his desires to leave the club. It doesn't seem messy. It just seems kind of like awkward because we don't know the ins and outs of the relationship between Isak, Eddie Howe, and Newcastle as a football club, but from watching press conferences, something quite doesn't feel normal there. You know what I mean? Like looking at Eddie Howe, him being asked all these questions about Alexander, and just the body language that he exhibits is just kind of like letting me know that maybe there's like, you know what I mean? Maybe like things. What's the famous saying? There's writing on the wall. You know what I mean? You guys will know the saying. You leave it in the comment section. But it seems like a Liverpool, nothing has been put to paper yet, but it seems like it's gonna happen very soon. Yeah, of course, Liverpool are currently on their preseason tour right now. Everybody's wondering if maybe a deal will be had before the tour is over, or at least before the beginning of the season, which is more than likely. As for what it means for the rest of the Premier League, it means that the current champions, and by the way, guys, this is very important to note, Alexander Isak is the second top goal scoring player in the Premier League last season, after Mo Salah. Mo Salah won the Golden Boot with 29 goals. Alexander Isak, you know what I mean, with a steady 23, 22. You guys will let me know. I don't know. I don't really follow Newcastle like that, but he's number 2 in those rankings. So this is not like a scrub we're talking about, guys. You know what I mean? If he adds that firepower, in fact, I remember Manchester United Manchester United fans bragging about the fact that they now have 2 of the top 10 goal scorers in their team, namely Cunha and Mbuemo. But now, technically, Liverpool, if this deal were to go through, Liverpool could say the same thing. It's scary hours, guys. Everybody, or not everybody, but the big clubs in England, right? The big 6. Everybody seems to be kind of like strengthening, you know what I mean? No pun intended, but everybody is like, just strengthening their arsenal. Oh my God. Especially Arsenal, seeing as they have their brand new striker. But anyway, guys, I don't want this video to be as long as the last one. I'm kind of like learning from my mistakes in that regard. But let me know what you guys think about this Alexander Isak. I don't know if I left anything out. And if I did, I'll probably just come back with another video and do the things. Guys, please leave a like, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. You know what I mean? Let me know what you think about the deal. Are you in favor of it? A lot of people seem to be scared about it. I'm kind of nervous, but I'm excited to play Liverpool and every other Premier League team, especially the ones that have been kind of bolstering their offenses. during the transfer window. And let's not forget about Chelsea. Chelsea have just won the Club World Cup, and they have that Joao Pedro, who is looking like he's going to be a problem along with Cole Palmer this season. So there are that's by no means a team that's should be ignored. Yeah, again, let me know what you think in the comment section. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, I'll hear from you guys, or rather, you'll hear from me later. Peace out.